Hello my friends, and welcome to Paulina Art. Today I'm going to be painting some leaves, and I've picked these beautiful fall leaves from the park yesterday when I went with my grandson. And I like them because they have different shapes and different colors, and I also got a little evergreen branch that we're going to do. The first thing I've done is I could have drawn these leaves myself, but since I had them, I used them as my stencil. So I put them in there and I went around. I did that with all of them since I had them. And the step 2, I paint the leaves with my linen. The color that I'm using is, all my colors are folk art. I'm going to list them in the information box at the bottom. But I painted all my leaves with linen, and you will see why. The first thing I'm going to do is do the branch for my evergreen. We're going to put him right here, and this is very easy step to do. All you have to do is wet your brush and pick up some linen and a little bit of brown, move it around, maybe some yellow in there, and we're going to do our branch up here. There we go. A little bit more yellow, and there's going to be our branch. We're going to let it dry. Now we're going to look at our flowers, at our leaves, and we are going to use our artistic eye to look at the beautiful colors in this leaf past the obvious. Now I see a warm green, and we're going to try to aim for that. I'm going to use this brush to mix the colors, and I have here my little tester for the colors. So we're going to pick up some of our hunter green in here. I'm going to put a little bit of yellow, some white, a little bit more yellow, and I think I like that color. That's going to be a nice color. We're going to choose an angled brush. The way to choose our brushes is to see if it's going to be long enough to create what we want to create, and I feel this will work well. This is a size number 6. We have our gel medium in here, and what we're going to do, we're going to dip our brush in water, dry it up a little bit, dip the mixed medium, clean it up, and we are going to have our nice color in the middle. And on the toe of the brush, we're going to pick up the green. We're going to use the one stroke or double load technique. Once you master this technique, it is very easy, and you can create beautiful leaves effortlessly. It requires a little bit of practice, but once you get it, this is what you're going to use most of the time. Our brush is ready, and we're going to do our first leaf, which is going to be that one. We're going to put the heel of the brush in the middle and the toe towards the outside. And we're going to move. There we go. I'm going to do the other side. Maybe a little bit more green. Sometimes I find mixing the paint on a different bowl helps. We're going to move our paper to fit our needs. And there we go. Now we're going to grab a toothpick, and we're going to follow the leaf, And we're going to try to mimic these beautiful lines that the leaf has. That's how it's looking. Now we're going to pick up our liner brush. We're going to grab a little bit of the green again, and we're going to do the stem. Now there are some areas that we miss. No problem. We're going to pick up our dark green, and we're just going to touch them up like this, finishing the edges of our first leaf. If it's not perfect, it doesn't matter, because leaves are not perfect. We want to make a painterly paint, and if we want to do that, we really cannot worry if it's perfect. And if we don't like it, we can leave it alone and come back a little bit later. Then we're going to add a little bit of dimension on the stem. And here's our first leaf. We're going to leave it for now. We're going to move quickly to, let's see, maybe we'll do this one now. Rinse our brush. We're going to use the same brush. And this one, for this one, I think I'm going to use this beautiful berry color, which is berry wine. And we are going to use the same idea. We're going to dip our brush into the gel medium. We're going to pick this time all of the berry wine. And maybe we'll use a nice dark brown for the edge. Let's see how we like that. Toe of the brush with the dark brown, we're going to aim that towards the end. And if we run out of paint, that's no problem. We'll reload our brush. Okay. Pick up more berry wine and a little bit more brown. We're going to turn around, and we're going to turn around our paper. I'm using a watercolor paper for this exercise. And there's our second leaf. We can do our stem with the same brush. Okay, pick up our toothpick. I don't see a lot of line. Yeah, I see some lines on this one. We're going to try to mimic what the leaves is telling us. That's turning out nice. Okay. We're going to go back. We're going to make some of our berry wine with a little bit of brown, make it a little bit darker. And then we're going to do the edge of our, this one has a little bit of a zigzaggy edge, that leaf, and that's what we're gonna do in here. There we go. That looks beautiful. Next one, we can try doing our evergreen. I think the branch is dry. Evergreens are very easy, and this is a good time of the year to learn how to paint them since they look beautifully on Christmas paintings. I'm having a little bit of my vintage white in here. We're going to mix it with the hunter green to create the green we're looking for. It's a little bit warmer and darker. We're going to add more green. This is my liner brush. It's important to have a really good liner brush. It makes all the difference in your work. This one is rosemary. It was a little pricey, but worth every penny. That looks like a nice evergreen color. We're going to add a little bit of water to make it nice and flowy. And then we simply draw our greenery coming into the branch, just like this. Some are a little more straight. Go from the outside towards the inside. Okay. We're going to let it dry. We can add a little bit of dimension by adding some darker green in there too. It's starting to look more like it. There we go. Can make some coming in from here. Okay, now let's look at this leaf. This leaf is a little bit different in shape, and I'm going to show you another technique with a round brush. And for this one, I think I'm going to use my linen and my purple, which is Eggplant. So what I'm going to do with this one, I'm going to moist my round brush, pick up some linen, and dip it into the eggplant color like that. And we're going to start from the top, just pulling it in. There we go. We'll press down towards the center of the leaf. That looks nice. This is a very easy technique using a round brush. Doesn't require a lot of practice. And it creates beautiful results as well to create leaves. We might do another one like this as well. There we go. And again, we're going to look at the veins of this one. We're going to try to mimic that. It goes like that. Sometimes the paint starts drying really fast, but that's okay. If we cannot do it, we're going to go over them with our little liner brush. Yeah, I think this one dried really quickly. Now with our liner brush, we're going to add a little more interest to that leaf. I believe these leaves, when they are fresh, there's a little bit of a sharp edge to them, so we're going to add that in there just to give them a little more interest, make them look more interesting. Now we can diffuse it towards the inside. When you paint, you really have to look past the obvious. Use your artistic license to make it look even more beautiful. More beautiful than a photo for sure. And show all the beauty that you see in things. I'm going to blend a little bit. And add some dimension. There we go. Oops. So it looks really pretty. And we can emphasize a little bit the vein of the leaf in here. Like that. Move it in there. Make sure we put enough water on our liner brush. There we go. We're going to paint this one, and let's use the same technique just to give you options. For this one, I would like to use this beautiful color. This one is berry wine. I use some berry wine. Do I want it this way it is? I think I'm going to add a little bit of brown because, oops, that's what I see in this one. This is the one we're going to be doing now. Color I want. I think that's more like it. We're going to use the same technique. We're going to go to the top and drag it into towards the center. There we go. And if you see some of the insides like that, it's okay, because autumn leaves, sometimes the color starts fading in some areas. That just makes it look a little, gives it more of an artistic look to the painting, I find. Make sure our paint is flowing nicely from our brush, and we're doing it from the outside towards the inside. There we go. We're going to do the stem. We can add some darker areas here if we feel like it. And again, we're going to pick up our toothpick. We're going to see if we can do our branches, our veins, I mean. There we go. And when looking at this leaf, I see an almost black edge to it, which I'm going to try to mimic with my liner brush. I'm going to dip it in the water, pick up some of the black. I feel it's going to be too much of a contrast, so I'm going to mix it a little bit with my berry wine and just get the color I'm looking for. And I think this one would be beautiful for the edge of this plant. Yeah, I think that's what I like. And I see a little bit of zigzaggy motion to this leaf, which I'm gonna try to mimic in here. Again, we can blend it in a little bit as we're doing it. That's looking pretty. I like it. There we go. Because this acrylic paints really quickly, we gotta work and blend. We gotta blend as we go. Keep blending. It's a good idea to go in nature and find leaves, berries, bring them home and try to duplicate what you see. Then when you're ready to do a painting, you're going to be very familiar with how leaves look like, berries, or whatever it is that you want to do in your composition. I really like the way this one is turning out really pretty. Gonna add a little bit of dimension there on the stem. There we go. We can add a little bit of darkness in here too. And a little bit more blended. There we go, my friends. So far, these are our leaves. Now, not to make this video not too long, we're gonna quickly do the last two. This one, I see green and red, and this is what I'm gonna try to achieve with that one. Using the same angled brush for all of them. I use this one for a lot of things, my number 6. We're gonna pick up our blending gel, get our brush nice and loaded. I'm gonna pick up some green and some red. So it's gonna be a very Christmassy leaf. This is the same way I paint leaves of poinsettias sometime, using green and red. And we're gonna use our one stroke technique to do this one. And here we go. Just wiggle the brush. We're gonna pick up more paint. We're gonna do the other side. Turn the paper to make it easy for you. We're gonna try to meet it right in the center. And if you end up with a little bit like I did here, that's no problem, my friends. Just drag the paint towards the middle, and there you go. A beautiful leaf. We're gonna pick up our toothpick. This is gonna work here because it's still wet. And these ones are going like this, in a rounded motion towards the sides. Again, if we want to go over our edge and add more green, we can do that with our liner brush. Pick up some green, and we can touch up our ends if we like, or we can just leave it, because like I mentioned before, leaves are not perfect. Our evergreen is dry, and I think it needs a little more. We're just going to add. That's the beauty with acrylics. You can go over and add more layers just to make it look the way you want it. There we go. And our last leaf, last but not least, we're going to do this beautiful leaf that has, I see a lot of brown and orange, so we're going to try to duplicate that. And I'm going to mix a nice orangey brown with my brown and my yellow. I think I need more yellow. Well, I don't think I like that color. I don't like it. We're gonna do more of an orange, I think. Make it more happy fall color. There we go. I like that much better. We can use this bright orange for the center, and maybe red for the outer of the leaf, the outer part of the leaf. Again, my friends, we're gonna dip our brush into our gel medium. There's a little bit of color red in there, but that's okay. We're gonna pick up our nice orange, and we're gonna put red on the top of on the heel no, the toe, that's what's called the toe of our brush. We're going to go ahead and use the one stroke or double load technique, and this is how we're going to paint this happy, beautiful, bright autumn leaf. I'm going to do the same on the other side. Got lots of nice color. Going to turn around our paper to make it easier on us. Make sure everything is dry if you put your hand in there. And there we go. And that is nice. I even like the fact that there's a little bit of light in there. And see, if you have a base coat like the one I used today, my linen, it doesn't matter if something shows through, because that's a beautiful base for your autumn leaves. Now we're gonna try to do some veins on our leaf here with our handy little toothpick. We have our last but not least beautiful fall leaf. And this technique, as you can see, creates beautiful results. The one stroke technique requires a little bit of practice, but you can start practicing with your round brush, the way we created this one and that one, and they look just as beautiful. So when you do your leaves, try to pick some interesting shapes and colors and use your artistic eye to see the real beauty of the leaves. And with this, my friends, I'm gonna come to a conclusion for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. And if you enjoyed it, you know what to do. Thank you so much, and we'll see you on the next one.